Have you ever picked up a brand new video game and, within seconds, you just get it? You've never been to this world before, you've never met these characters, but somehow you already speak the language. How does that even happen? Okay, let's just take a look at this classic example right here. You see a character, you see some blocks, you see a couple of little mushroom guys walking back and forth, and your brain instantly goes, okay, I should probably jump on those blocks and I should definitely jump on those mushroom guys. But why? Why do we all have that exact same thought? Well, it's not magic. It's actually a really powerful and kind of invisible language that game designers use to guide your every single move. It's all about teaching you the rules of a whole new world without ever cracking open a textbook. So today, we're going to pull back the curtain and break this secret language down into 5 key parts. We'll kick things off with the power of metaphor, then see how designers send a clear signal through all the noise. After that, we'll dive into how they design for player focus, give guidance without words, and finally, we'll bring it all together with the complete designer's toolkit. All right, first up, metaphor. This is, without a doubt, the foundation of it all. It's the bedrock that makes these totally alien worlds feel, well, strangely familiar. So here's the key idea. Instead of trying to explain some brand new, complicated game mechanic from the ground up, designers just wrap it in something you already recognize. You could say the whole story and art style of a game is really just one giant metaphor, and it's built to communicate ideas, thest. And this table here shows you exactly how they do it. They map these abstract ideas in the game to simple physical actions. Let's take that example. Power is active movement. To make you feel that a weapon is getting stronger, the designer might make your actual controller shake more violently when you fire it. Right there, they've connected the virtual idea of power to the real-world feeling of movement. You don't have to read anything. You just feel it. It's instant. So, okay, designers have this language built on metaphors, but in the middle of a chaotic battle, how do they make sure you, the player, actually get the message? Well, that's where we need to talk about signal versus noise. Every single thing you see and hear in a game, every sound, every flash of light is part of a signal. When it gives you clear, helpful information, like, say, an enemy's weak spot glowing bright red, that's a good, clean signal. But when that information is just confusing or distracting, it breaks down and becomes noise. And what turns a perfectly good signal into useless noise? Well, there are 2 main culprits. First, you've got art styles that are just so detailed and complex that you can't tell what's important from what's just, pretty background art. And second, you've got overcrowded signals. That's when the game is screaming 10 different things at you all at the same time. So how do the best designers actively fight against all that noise? Simple. They take control of what you're looking at and when you're looking at it. This whole principle is called visual hierarchy. And the tools they use are actually pretty basic when you see them laid out like this. If they need you to notice something important, they'll just make it a different color or a weirder shape or just bigger. See, our brains are literally hardwired to notice things that are different, and designers exploit that to guide our eyes exactly where they want them to go. It all really boils down to this one powerful rule of thumb. The closer an enemy is, or the more dangerous it is, the bigger and more detailed and faster it's going to look. Designers are using the simple physics of 3D space to make the biggest threat on your screen also the most obvious one. They are quite literally directing your gaze from moment to moment. Now we're getting into the really advanced stuff. So a designer has your attention, but how do they make absolutely certain that the critical message gets through? And, even cooler, how do they subtly shape what you do next? This is where 2 really powerful concepts come in: redundancy and indirect control. The easiest way to think about redundancy is as the designer's insurance policy. They know you're not a robot, you're going to miss stuff. So for the really, really important things, like, hey, you're about to die, they build in multiple layers of information just in case. So designers have a few ways to do this. There's homogeneous redundancy, which is just, repeating this same warning sign 3 times. But diverse redundancy is way more effective. For example, when your health is low, the screen might flash red, you'll hear a beep, beep, beep sound, your character might start limping, and your controller might start vibrating. That's 4 different channels all screaming the same critical message at you. In those really intense, high-pressure moments, designers might even use what they call quadruple redundancy. They'll hit you with that one critical message in 4 different ways at the exact same time, because when the bullets are flying, they simply can't afford for you to miss it. And that brings us to the most sophisticated, most subtle technique of them all: indirect control. This is the true art of making you, the player, feel like you are making a completely free choice, when in reality, the designer is gently guiding your behavior the entire time. And they pull this off in three main ways. They can nudge you, maybe by placing a shiny, useful item at the start of one particular path, making you want to go that way. They can prime you by, say, showing a friendly character do a really cool combat move, which plants the idea in your head to try it later. Or they can use social imitation, where your computer-controlled teammates all take cover behind a wall, non-verbally teaching you that, hey, maybe you should too.
Okay, phew, that was a lot. Let's do a quick recap and put all these powerful tools together into the designer's complete toolkit. So it all starts with metaphor to make new things feel familiar. From there, designers battle to keep their signal clean from noise, using visual hierarchy to grab your attention. Then, they use redundancy to make sure you get the most critical info. And finally, they use indirect control to subtly guide your actions. The thing is, none of these work alone. They're all part of a system that works together to create that seamless, intuitive feeling of just knowing what to do.
So the next time you pick up a controller, you're not just a player anymore, you're kind of in on the secret. Try to look for the metaphors they're using, listen for the clear signals, and see if you can feel that gentle nudge of indirect control. I promise, once you start seeing this hidden language at work, you will never experience games the same way again.